There are places where the dark never sleeps, where shadows whisper and the unknown watches from just beyond the veil. Supernatural horrors, unsolved mysteries, and things that should not exist. Once you hear these stories, they may never leave you. The shadows of Black Hollow. The village of Gorseth had known peace for generations. Nestled deep within a dense forest and encircled by ancient mountains, it seemed protected from the chaos of the outside world. Yet, the whispers of shadowed creatures and unholy terrors had never entirely left its history. It was said that every century, the barrier between worlds would weaken, and demons would attempt to reclaim what they once owned. This time, the village faced a threat unlike any before. A demon of unmatched cruelty known as Rakthar. Villagers disappeared, livestock were found mutilated, and the air grew heavy with an unearthly presence. In desperation, the elders turned to their last hope, a demon slayer. Her name was Kyla. She arrived on a moonless night, clad in blackened armor that bore countless scars, each telling a story of a battle fought and a victory earned. A hood concealed most of her face, but her piercing green eyes glowed faintly, an unsettling yet comforting sign to those who recognized her trade. Slung across her back was a weapon unlike any other, a blade forged from celestial steel, its edge flickering with an iridescent light that seemed alive. Kyla's reputation preceded her. It was said she had been marked at birth, chosen by the divine to walk the perilous path of a slayer. As a child, she had watched her family fall victim to a demon's wrath, and in her grief, she had vowed to rid the world of their kind. Decades of training, sacrifice, and unrelenting determination had transformed her into a formidable warrior, feared by her enemies and revered by those she protected. The elders gathered in the great hall to meet her. "Rakthar is unlike any foe you've faced," warned Elder Bryn, his voice trembling. "It feeds on fear, manipulates the mind, and cannot be slain by ordinary means." Kyla's voice was calm, almost detached. "No demon is invincible. Tell me where it hides." Bryn gestured toward the forest. "The Black Hollow. None who enter ever return." Without another word, Kyla turned and left the hall. She needed no crowd to see her off, no fanfare. Her path was solitary by design. The Black Hollow was a place of nightmares. The trees twisted unnaturally, their branches clawing at the sky. The air was suffused with an oppressive darkness that seemed to cling to Kayla's skin. Whispers brushed against her ears, faint and unintelligible, like the mutterings of the damned. She tightened her grip on her blade, her instincts screaming that she was being watched. Hours passed as she ventured deeper, the forest growing more labyrinthine. Shadows danced and flickered, forming shapes that vanished when she turned to face them. At last, she reached a clearing. At its center stood an ancient altar, weathered and cracked, yet emanating a pulsating, malevolent energy. And there, perched upon the altar, like a grotesque king on his throne, was Rakthar. The demon was a towering figure, its body a grotesque amalgamation of sinew, bone, and shadow. Its eyes burned like twin suns, and its voice rumbled like thunder. "Another lamb for the slaughter," it hissed, its words dripping with malice. Kyla raised her blade. "Your reign ends tonight." Rakthar laughed, a sound that shook the ground beneath her feet. "Brave words, mortal, but bravery won't save you." The battle began in an instant. Rakthar's form shifted and contorted, striking with tendrils of darkness that lashed out like whips. Kyla moved with inhuman speed, her blade slicing through the tendrils, each strike releasing bursts of light that burned away the shadows. But Rakthar was relentless, its attacks unceasing and unpredictable. Kayla's training took over, her movements precise and fluid. She channeled the divine energy within her, allowing it to guide her strikes. The clearing became a battleground of light and shadow, each clash sending shockwaves through the forest. But Rakthar was cunning. It began to speak, its voice seeping into Kayla's mind. "Do you remember their screams?" it taunted. "Your family, begging for mercy as they burned." Kayla faltered, her breath hitching. The memory was a wound that had never truly healed. Rakthar seized the moment, striking with a shadowy claw that sent her crashing to the ground. Pain lanced through her body, but she forced herself to rise, blood dripping from her lips. "You cannot break me," she growled, her voice steady despite the agony. Summoning every ounce of her strength, Kayla plunged her blade into the ground, releasing a wave of radiant energy that engulfed the clearing. Rakthar shrieked as the light seared its form, banishing the shadows that protected it. Kayla advanced, her strikes relentless, each one carving away at the demon's essence. Finally, she saw her opening. With a cry that echoed with the weight of her vow, she drove her blade into Rakthar's chest. The demon howled, its form unraveling into a maelstrom of darkness that was drawn into the blade. The clearing fell silent, the oppressive energy dissipating. Kayla collapsed to her knees, her body trembling. The battle had taken its toll, but she had won. As the first rays of dawn pierced through the trees, she rose, weary but resolute. She sheathed her blade and began the journey back to the village, knowing her work was far from over. The villagers would celebrate her as a hero, but Kayla did not fight for glory. She fought for the memory of those she had lost, and for the hope that no one else would suffer as she had. The path of a demon slayer was lonely, but it was hers to walk, and she would walk it until the end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more content like this.